Welcome to After the Nudge. I'm Soledad O'Brien.
I'm J.R. Smith.
On this podcast, we chat with some of the nation's most outstanding grassroots community organizations. Our guest today is Chi Lok. He is the executive director of UA3 Community First, making a tremendous impact on underserved segments in New York City with services that promote health and education and empowerment. It's so nice to have you at After the Nudge. Welcome.
Thank you, Soledad. Thank you, JR.
Absolutely.
And thank you, Toyota, for having me.
Thank you. Why don't we start with what UA3 Community First does? Okay,
let me share with you that UA3 is an acronym. We were formerly known as United Asian American Alliance. That's where the three A's come from. And now we serve all our community members, disregard their racial, ethnic, religion background. So I'm one of the youngest members. Our board members and our advocate members have invested their lifelong experience in serving the community. So in the early days, we provided, tried to bridge the digital divide, serving the students with the computers, because we found that many of the underserved community members do not have computers to do their homework. So we work with the schools, provide essay contests to give them Chromebooks and laptops. Then we also promoted mental health advocacy, as well as supporting other small nonprofits. Then when the COVID strike, we were able to step up to provide fresh produce to serve seniors and many other vulnerable community members to make sure they are healthy and well.
So basically everything.
Correct.
In your community.
Mm-hmm.
You have a very interesting background. You were a social worker. You were a community board member. What led you into this work from where you began?
Right. My parents came to America with my brother and my sister. They didn't have the education, so they want us to have a bright future. Make sure we have the education. So I witnessed the experience facing immigrants, the challenge and the obstacle that they face.
Where are your parents from?
They're originally from China, then they traveled to Taiwan, then were able to come to the United States. So I want to dedicate my skills and my interests serving the immigrant communities. So I started with youth service work, serving the immigrant as well as refugees. In the early 80s, America, because of the Vietnam War, many refugees came from Vietnam and as well Cambodia. So they resettled many of the refugees in Brooklyn. They call it parade grounds in the southern part of Prospect Park. There would be able to serve the whole family, especially the youngsters. From there on, over the 34-year period, I was able to develop a youth employment training program as well as adults. We diversify our portfolio by putting together curriculum in hospitality, fashion, office training, as well as healthcare training. So we're able to put jobs with thousands of youth and adults to mainstream jobs. They will become self-sufficient. And that was part of my story, and until UA3 came.
You have a lot of different things that affect this one big branch of an organization. You have so many different. You help in so many different areas. Where do you feel as though you hang your hat or your legacy on that it'll keep it going forward?
The most important thing right now is what's going on in New York City. There's a lot of anti-Asian hate, and with that, we want to build communities. We want to bridge cultural divide. So we have many special events where we reach out to people in Jamaica, Queens, Sunset Park, Brooklyn. We shared our cultural understanding. We exchange, so people understand the differences and promote the similarities, where we can overcome many challenges that every day in the Hispanic, Black, and Brown community. That's how we can overcome any obstacles.
You mentioned anti-Asian hate, and I think post-COVID, that was a conversation that really across the country people were having. But it's really not new. A lot of the story of Private Danny Chen really is centered in anti-Asian hate. Talk a little bit about his story, who he was, and how that drives a lot of what the organization prioritizes and thinks about.
Right. Private Danny Chen's story is very close to my heart as well as our community's heart, because he was a young man, 19 years old, had a passion to become a police officer. So he enlisted into the Army. However, the Army did not treat him well. When he came back home in a casket, we realized something was wrong.
He was in Afghanistan, right? He was serving in Afghanistan.
Correct. He did not die in combat, but he's over the 1 year period were able to went to Pentagon and unravel many of the details. What caused, what led to his death? He was bullied, hazed, and discriminated because he was Chinese. So that really touched what's happening with the current situation, the anti-Asian hate. So we want to really to educate all throughout the community about this kind of situation. So UA3 is to uplift the vulnerable communities where we be able to meet their basic needs as well as advocate for their rights.
In the immigrant community, as far as raising kids and bringing kids over, like you were saying, your parents brought you over, and I'm pretty sure it's Asian, like you were saying, Asian hate. It's not new. It must have been tough growing up and continuously seeing that cycle of people in your community going through things like that. How do you stay encouraged around continuously helping and knowing that you're providing and doing a service that's going to put things in a better situation than when you had it?
Right. So the Chinese has been in the United States since the early 1800s. The Chinese has helped to build the Intercontinental Railroad. So we have been making many mainstream contributions. However, Asian American are constantly viewed as a perpetual foreigner. In light of the September 11, Muslims are discriminated. COVID-19, especially the Asian American, are scapegoated because of the Kung flu. So it's instrumental for us to continue to promote solidarity among the community of color, that we are always making important contributions. So we have programs to promote, for example, breaking the bread, to have cultural exchanges, to share about, for example, the food that different ethnic groups enjoy, because food is the common denominator to bring everyone together.
Mm-hmm. A melting pot is what we like to call it. For me, I was fortunate to play in China for a season, and the welcoming that I was able to receive was astronomically different. And when I look at it, for me, it was amazing. It was, people had jerseys, people were going crazy and whatever. And I think about it and I look at how much Jeremy Lin at the time had to go through so much scrutiny just to be good. He was already good, but just to be the Asian American basketball player that's good, and there's so much scrutiny around that. I wonder if is that commonly talked about amongst the youth in the community?
Yes. So somehow, again, what the perception on Asians is that we always have to prove more than who we are. We have to work harder. We have to do much more than anyone else. So yes, it's important that we continue to work, exchange information, so people see ourselves as part of the American life.
Are you optimistic? I mean, I feel like at the time in America right now, the tenor of the country is sometimes mean. Yeah, I've literally walked with people who are Chinese, who are Asian, and someone will be like, go home, and the person will be like, I'm from Jersey, like, and because there's this undercurrent right now, I think, of anti-immigrant sentiment. And overt, right? People will say it to your face. My parents are both immigrants to this country. So I'm curious if you are feeling optimistic that you're going to be able to change that, or if you're feeling like it's going the wrong direction.
We are a community of resiliency. We promote positive. There are many obstacles out there, right? COVID, we overcome COVID. Now we are faced with inflation, cost of living. So people are not able to meet ends meet. But we have a lot of supporters. Toyota is supporting us. Corporation is donating food. Individual is supporting us as well. We have volunteers. We have hundreds and thousands across New York City to volunteer, especially with our special events. So we are very positive to overcome any challenges. We are a country of immigrants, and we will continue to receive the migrants and support them throughout the years because they are our future. They built America. Like I said before, Chinese built the railroad, and the new immigrants will build something else. Will create a very positive environment for us.
Can I ask about the food pantry? Because that's a big portion of the work that UA3 is doing. Can you describe the food pantry? I know you must be even busier than ever now that some policy changes have actually, I think, made people more vulnerable to hunger.
Correct, yes. So food insecurity was highlighted because of COVID. Many businesses were shut down completely. So when we step up, because we realized that many of the seniors was not able to get fresh produce. Many of the home care workers was not able to come out and travel. So we able to connect with our corporations because much of their food that we collect are through rescue food. So we'll be able to select them and repackage them and give it out. So we start with 250 grocery bags, give out to seniors in Chinatown. Actually, we started the first food pantry in Chinatown. Then other community members wanted the same thing. So at the height of the COVID, we're able to secure government farmers to family food boxes. We're able to serve 11,000 food boxes throughout New York City. Wow. We work with Jamaica, Queens, Flushing, Queens, Almas as well as in Queens, Sunset Park, Brooklyn, Bensonhurst, Washington Heights, as well as South Bronx. Of course, we're based in Lower Manhattan. So as of now, we operate 2 days a week, food pantry, serving about 2,000 families, as well as distribute out to our community-based organization that we develop, serving another 3,000. So without food, people will have to choose between paying for medicine or having a good meal. So we don't want them to have that kind of hard choice. So we want to make sure that food is giving out.
Man, 11,000 boxes is a lot of boxes. It's a lot of food. And to me, you have to feel amazing when doing it. And also, there's a level of I'm not satisfied. I want to continuously push. For you, I guess, how do you continuously bring in not only the people that you're helping, but people to help you help them.
The volunteers are the backbone of our organization. They're the lifeblood. Without them, I don't think we'd be able to continue our work. So we have thousands of volunteers. In addition, the corporation, every pound of food that we deliver are donated. So we'll continue to meet the needs of our community. Corporation, they donate. So with the combination of volunteers and the donated food, we'll be able to continue as long as there's a need. Food insecurity didn't start around COVID. It started way before. It's just that COVID highlighted the drastic need that people are going hungry.
I read this crazy story, and I wasn't sure that it was your story. A gentleman named Chi Lok had been arrested wrongly and jailed, and it was your story. How did that really miscarriage of justice that eventually was cleared up, how did that play a role in your advocacy that you do for immigrants today? Because it felt like a lot of the things that were done unfairly to you were because of your background, because you're Asian, because there were assumptions made about who you were and what you were doing.
That's right, sort of that. So it's another sad story. If I was not well known in our community, and without the resource and without the support of our community, I may be locked up for many years. So I was helping a friend of mine because she was out of state, and the tenant wasn't paying the rent. So when I knocked on the door, so the tenant claimed that I had a gun. So when the police called, asked me to go into the precinct, so I don't think anything was going to be wrong. So when I went there, they arrested me. Unfortunately, I was just another Asian because, as you heard about the saying, all Asian look alike. As it turned out that the perpetrator committed another crime. So, but I was I was in jail, and I couldn't have done that. So they made it's a mistaken identity. So with that, I was proving innocent. I was let go. Okay. So as you can see, that many innocent victims, without the resources, without the educational skills to pull themselves out of that challenging situation, it's a desperate situation.
Did it make you focus on helping other immigrants when it came to justice?
Yes. So we want to do everything possible to uplift those vulnerable community members. So even though the environment is such a challenging time for them, but knowing that there are organizations like us and many other community partners around the city, we will overcome those situations.
That's gut punching, just hearing that story, to be wrongly accused of something, and then only because of the act of somebody else is doing it again is the reason why you're out, not because they just messed up or got the wrong person or actually did their due diligence to figure out if you were the person or not. I'm sorry you had to go through that. I know a lot of people are. That's something no one should go through.
Can I ask you about the money? I mean, I'd like to transition to
Yeah.
the $10,000 note, if I may. So what was that like to get the notification? Obviously, you had to be nominated by the public and then voted on by the public, which is an amazing, I think, sense of support. What was that like?
Well, we were definitely happy and elated that we were able to win that $10,000 from Toyota. You know, we didn't know so many people was out there rooting for us, to nudge for us to do more. So that was definitely an energizer. So we want to do more. we're able to leverage that $10,000, paying for the rental trucks, gas, supplies, hire more drivers to be able to bring in more food to the community.
So it made a big difference.
That's definitely a big difference.
That's awesome.
What's next for you guys? If you had to pick out what the goals are for the next couple of years for UA3?
So our dream is to become a food bank. Right now, we have a little small storefront, but we have a land. As you know, Lower Manhattan or New York City is very expensive. And if we were able to develop into a food bank, it's basically like the first food bank in New York City. Then we'll be able to transport, because we're very close to the highway, we'll be able to transport to our existing community-based organization. That's what we're serving now. So actually this morning we got a call from a corporation because their refrigeration went down. So we're able to pick them up, but without the extensive refrigeration, we have to disperse them out right away. In the food industry, 30% of the food goes to waste because of refrigeration. They cannot keep it. Okay, so with refrigeration, we'll be able to extend the life of the food. When we receive donated food, we get several pallets, a truck, a 26-footer truck coming in. So we have to be able to quickly to disperse out. So we hope they develop our land into a food bank where we can store it within the week and disperse to various organizations around the city. So hopefully that with the supporters out there, then if you'll be able to support us, certainly either volunteer or donate funds, then we'll be able to make our dream come true.
Is there a website? Is there socials? How do people find you? How do they get in touch with you?
Yes, our website is ua3now.org or UA3 Community First, because we're always out in the community and social media. So UA3 Community First will be able to get in touch with us.
Amazing, amazing. Well, congratulations on your great work. And I agree. I'm sorry that happened to you. It's such a terrible story of injustice, but it's amazing that you've turned it around to make sure that you can help other people in your community who I think frequently are at the receiving end of something that's unfair or unjust or just biased and not okay. Thank you for talking with us. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you very much. As you know, when there's tragic situation, you overcome them, you grow stronger, and you'll be able to do more for everyone else. And that's our story. That's our mission, to support as many vulnerable community members. One story that when we were delivering food, and one lady told me personally that if she'd be able to overcome the COVID, and when she get back on her feet, she will help us.
I love that, because that's what it's about, right?
Yes.
You do what you do for the community then is empowered to do even more.
That's
Thank you
correct.
for joining us, real pleasure. And thanks to all of you for joining us for After the Nudge. And remember, you should never underestimate the power of a nudge.